Here it is, a Friday night on Twitch, just about 6:30 Central Standard Time. So we started just a little bit early, but that's okay. So Friday nights here on Green Oaks Gaming, that means it's time for some reviews, pursuing a passion, looking at the items that we use in different aspects of RPG and gaming, and items that support the hobby. So you can see on the big screen here, I've got a couple of products in boxes. I do have one that I have in my hand, and if you watch any of my painting in the studio, you'll actually recognize it pretty quickly, but I wanted to get it kind of all prepped up first and foremost so that it was ready to go. And as we get it on camera here, so tonight we are going to be reviewing miniature painting handles. Miniature painting for me is a big aspect of my RPG experience. It started way back in history in the 80s when, from Dragon and Dungeon magazines, as well as some inserts from some of the games, there were miniatures that were available for purchase.
You better get a drink.
And there was a big part of me who loved getting the miniatures. My brother actually facilitated the majority of that. But as possible, we would paint, and using tester's paints and just right onto the lead miniatures. And that really got me to use some of the artistic skills and talents that I had and express myself. But of course, the materials were never the best, and I would say that any of those would not be good for a competition, but they were good enough to utilize so I could envision what my character was like. So fast forward now many years later, and miniature painting is something that I do as a profession, and it comes down to whether you're doing it as a hobby, whether you're doing it as an escape, whether you're doing it as a profession, whether you're doing it just so you can get painted miniatures on the table. Regardless, the tools that you use in that aspect are super important. And especially the more professional you go, the more you start paying attention to the tools that you utilize. And I will just bear with me, I just got a message. So it looks like, unfortunately, Tammy won't be able to join. She got pulled in a little bit after our stuff for work, but everything's good. She just won't be able to enjoy the handles that she actually sourced out for us to talk about tonight. But for miniature painting, I pay a lot more attention to the tools that I utilize. And again, I've got 3 here that we're going to talk about. And I'm actually going to bring up a couple more. So one of the tricks I used to use, or actually still do, you can see I've got a partially painted miniature on here, is a wooden block. Now I use these wooden blocks. I get them at a craft store for usually $1 or $2. And if I have a pinned miniature, I can just drill holes in the block and utilize that as a handle. For larger miniatures, that's pretty handy because it allows me to manipulate the miniature really well. So wooden blocks, I've also used a base that I've put Sculpey on, and it utilized for pinning or pinned miniatures. That works really well. For ones where I'm not pinning, that's when I use my current primary handle, which you can see here. Now this is from Game Envy, and I have to say, for me, I love this handle. It's nice and comfortable in the hand. It's super easy to maneuver. Mine is the version with the rest. You can get these in multiple colors if you visit GameEnvy.com. The component-wise, you can get the lids in a different color, the arm rests in a different color, and the handle in a different color, so you can build your own. They have two sizes of these armrests, and or finger rests, hand rests, whatever they're called. I don't know for sure. But I absolutely love this handle. Like I said, it's super comfortable. I've been using it for a long time. I actually went to purchase two more, one for Tammy and one for myself, on their website. However, when I went to purchase two, it cost about 38 bucks, which is not bad for as much as I like it. But what I did notice is to purchase, you have to use Venmo or PayPal. And I don't have a Venmo, and I don't utilize PayPal very much. So I did not place that order after I built a couple of specific fun colored ones that I thought Tammy and I would enjoy. So I'm currently stuck with just the one. But I definitely give this high ratings for just the item itself. Now the cool thing about this is it is designed, it'll come with one of these lids, but it is designed to use just standard bottle tops. If you have a bottle top that isn't a wide mouth, so any type of plastic bottle, as long as it's got longer threads, it will fit on there. What's cool about that is you can actually have lots, I hit that light wrong. You can have lots of miniatures prepped up and ready to go. And especially if you're like speed painting, you can go through and utilize all the different bottle tops that you have quickly, easily, and change them all out in just a moment. And hold them on the base. You are good to go. So for me, that's really cool because I do paint a lot of miniatures, and I have a lot of them at various stages of painting, from unpainted to nearly finished. So for me, that's an important aspect for me to be able to utilize something where I can paint different miniatures quickly and easily. Transfer them in and off of the handle, just based on my mood, what I'm feeling like coloring. You know, sometimes I don't want to work on leather, and that's what's next on a miniature. I can swap it out for something with fabrics or something where I can do some freehand design, skin tones, whatever. I'm able to change out the miniature on the handle super quick and easy, so it's very flawless to do. And yeah, I really enjoy it. Now the next one, this one costs $19. Tammy got it on Amazon. And I have not yet opened it. But this one looked very similar to the game Envy. It does have a kind of shaped handle. Oh, it actually fits pretty nice. And spins. Oh, it's magnetic. So you can extend it, so you can have it short or long. That's pretty cool. This part here is also magnetic. Look at that. So you can do the same exact thing and have multiple miniatures ready to go. Now it does have a couple of holes with this, what looks like a chrome plated or possibly a stainless steel wire. I would believe this is just chrome plated steel to put in for that handle rest, and then spin it around as you need, and spin the miniature around as you need. It is a little bit heavier for sure. I mean, it's wood. It's definitely wood with magnets, so you definitely tell that weighty piece. But yeah, it's pretty comfortable in the hand. It does come with, it looks like I had one that the logo came off. Looks like it was super glued on there. Now this one does not have a magnet, nor does this one, nor does none of these ones have magnets. Because the magnet is in the handle, so it'll hold on there. So the one that the magnet or the metal came off, we'll have to super glue that back on, going to pop that in the box just so I don't lose that metal aspect. But it snaps on there nice and tight. Let me get a little bit of blue tack and knead this up. I'm going to try to put some blue tack on the wood and stick a miniature on top of it and see how it does. Knead this up so it's nice and soft. And just pop it right in the center. I'm going to pop a miniature on top of that blue stuff. Make sure I got a good hold there. Alright, now if I were painting this bad boy here, I do like the rest and being able to spin the miniature. You're not able to spin the handle, of course, but you can spin the miniature. Now that lower part moves a little bit. It's not uncomfortable, I just notice it as I move it. My hand is actually moving it around a little bit on that. It does have some weight to it, like I said, so it's a little heavier in the hand, but maybe that could be a good thing. There are times I'll paint like faces and everything upside down. It's a little more awkward for that, I think. I have to work on it, see where it fits in my hand with that added rest. But not bad. Not bad at all, I don't think. With the bases, of course, the one I have to fix, but then it has, this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases. So you could have ultimately 6 bases with miniatures at a time. So that's pretty impressive, actually, height-wise. It's just a little bit taller for that, where that miniature sits, than the game's Envy. But not too bad. For 20 bucks, I think that's a pretty decent price. Not too bad at all. Yeah, so I'll have to actually use it and let you know what I think, but just right out of the box, I would have to say that I think it's pretty good. Now it does come with some, looks like a yellow tack here. I don't know how sticky it is. Of course, generally I use blue tack and then I have some white tack. So I'll have to try this as well and just see, does it hold the miniature to that base really well. So that's 2 of them. Let me just check. I'm looking for any comments. And do a little bit of cough there off screen. Now this one here is another one that was $10.99 on Amazon. $10.99 on Amazon. And this one, Tammy found on her own, and I thought it was actually kind of funny because there are times that I use something that kind of is on the same principle. And I'll show you what this is. This is basically a weighted stand. Not much to it. A weighted stand with all these perforations in it. They don't go all the way through. It actually is not that heavy. I would say it's actually almost the same weight as my Game Envy handle. So just barely heavier than that. This is heavier, so this isn't super heavy. I would actually say it's not weighted. And then you get these alligator clips on rods. So the premise of this is you put these in the perforated areas however you see fit. And it looks like there's just one size, though there are 2 sizes of perforations. I wonder if you can get additional clamps. But then with those alligator clamps, you clamp the miniature in place. Now my challenge with this is, let's say I've got a miniature that I want to clamp in place. it is going to be pretty difficult, as I'm thinking about painting this miniature. Maneuvering is going to be a little more challenging. So this one here, I mean, depending on what you're doing, you would definitely have to get in the habit of it and then switch it around. So a lot more maneuvering on this aspect here. Just for giggles, I'm going to attempt to bend one, because I feel that if you bent one and popped it in place, oh, I bent it a little crookedly, I suppose. You could have it hold the miniature upright. Ooh. But definitely a little more awkward. So the comical aspect of this one here is because I have, this is something my parents got me a number of years ago. My mom picked it out, and it is a paper holder, like desk weight thing. So it's got this little fish in water in it, and it's got an alligator clip, and I actually use it to hold pinned minis when I don't have enough wooden blocks for the number of minis that I have pinned. So I thought this was kind of interesting because I use an alligator clamp to clamp both of the pins on the feet. So when she showed me this online, I was like, oh, that'll be actually interesting to try. I think the biggest variance is this one here has a steel cable or a steel wire and is designed to be flexible, and I can maneuver it pretty quickly and easily. Even though it's still awkward, it's not horrible. This one here, bending that was a pain in the rear, and then it just swings. You would have to bend too. I'm not going to bend anymore, or somehow like block it in so it does not swing to keep it in location. Even then, it's not great. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling this one for painting. I'm trying to think of other applications as I'm basing, maybe. Well, no, because I've got a clamp onto the base. I don't know. This one here, I'm just not really digging it. Just not really digging it. Now this one was the cheapest at like 11 bucks, $10.99 I believe she said. So it's 11 bucks. I mean, it's better than nothing, I suppose. That way you're not fidgeting with the miniature itself. But the clamps themselves, I dropped one there. Let me get that picked up, just so I don't lose it. The clamps themselves have these big rubber ends, which I suppose you can take off to show the teeth. But that way they're probably designed so you don't destroy your miniature. But most of your miniatures anyhow are going to be fine if you clamp them, especially if you're going to redo the base. So maybe let's try this one without the rubber tips. Ooh, see if that doesn't make a difference. I mean, it definitely grips it a lot better, holds it a heck of a lot better. But yeah, still a little awkward, I think. I almost think you're better off if you put this in like a comfortable shape and utilize it like that. Maybe you would be a little bit better off. But for me, I like to steady my hand on that handle, on that rest as I'm doing it. So this one here is just a little more challenging. I would have to work with this a little bit and see how I can best shape the wires, and then I probably would not use it with the base as it stands currently, comparatively to what I've got. So I would not rate this very high, to be honest with you. I would say if you are looking at some type of a stand or base or holder or anything, I would advise you not to buy this. 11 bucks, I know it's not very much, but it's enough. 11 bucks, get yourself a meal instead, get yourself a few bottles of paint, get yourself a new, better brush. I would say this is not going to benefit you painting at all. The handles, on the other hand, I would say for those, well, let's leave this in camera view, I suppose. The handles definitely are the way to go if you're looking at augmenting your painting, your miniature painting. Your handles are definitely a lot more comfortable in the hand. Give you something to hold on to and work with. That rest is really good. There are times I'll get a little bit of the shakes. Having that rest there just really helps steady my hands as I'm painting. So I would definitely say your handles are going to be better. This one here, again on Amazon, what is it called here? It is just called a Jacuzzi 2-in-1 painting handle for model fantasy figurines. Again, I think this one is really interesting. The wood aspect I do like. It does have, you know, a cool wood pattern. The weight I would have to get used to a little bit, but I actually do kind of like it. This one here, you can open it up and you can add weight or put, you know, blue tack in there or whatever if you're going. This one here feels a little bit more permanent at home. This one here is ideal for travel if you're going to conventions or things like that. But yeah, this one here, I'm really pretty impressed with it for 20 bucks. I don't think it's bad at all. Like I said, it's pretty comfortable in my hand. It has that little bit of shift, just ever so slightly, but it's not horrible. It adjusts as you spin it. And if you want a shorter handle, if you've got smaller hands possibly, that works. Or you could actually use this one here. I mean, it does have a magnet. I want to try it real quick. Let's pull another disc out. So this is just another disc. I'm going to pop it on there. Look at that. Now I've got two handles. 2-in-1. So kind of a value piece too if you're looking at just getting a handle. Again, not super big, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible. Swap these out and try on here. Yeah, it's no different, I don't think, than my wooden block. It's definitely more comfortable than my square wooden block. So yeah, you could actually get two handles out of this, or one longer handle. Yeah, overall, I think I would definitely rate this one a 9.75 out of 10, we'll say. 9.75 out of 10, and the only reason it got that and not a full 10 was because the one disc was separated. The metal platform was separated, so I'm going to have to super glue that on. It's not a deal breaker by any means because you can just super glue it on. I unfortunately don't have any open right now, or I would do it on screen. But yeah, overall, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'm pretty impressed, especially compared to because I've been using my Game Envy one for so long. I'm actually pretty impressed that this caught my attention so well. Now for my Game Envy, I do rate that also a 9.75. The only reason it doesn't get a 10 is because when I went to order, I was not able to just use my credit card on the website to order. So if it weren't for that fact, this would also get a solid 10. But yeah, there we go. Painting handle options. I want to see real quick, what do they classify this as? They call this just alligator clip stand for hobby by May T. Bring your landscape to life. So it looks like this is designed possibly more for basing and such, would be my guess. Which could be why there are the multiple holes if you're doing like flocking or sand or anything, being able to pour it out afterwards could be why it's got that larger hole aspect in there. because these just do not fit in here. I mean, they fit, but they're just way loose. In the smaller holes, they fit really well. But yeah, for miniature painting, I would rate that a 0. Don't use it for miniature painting. Go with a handle. You're much better off. The versatility of being able to use just bottle caps, which I will say, I shouldn't say any names, but I will say Pepsi products have a dome. Coke products are flat. I use Coke products to get that flat lid. Otherwise, that little bit of a dome can just be a little bit of a challenge, especially if you're not using something like the blue tack or white tack. You can super glue your plastic miniatures right onto that base, and then when you go to separate it out, just pop it in the freezer for about 45 minutes, and then just use a hobby knife and pop it right off. So maybe a little bit more versatile, being able to utilize the pop caps compared to the pre-positioned domes, but with getting 6 of these in the box, I still think it's a great value. So there is my opinion, there is my ratings on how I would rate everything. I will continue to use this wood handle, or maybe Tammy will, one of us will, and we may do a follow-up on it after a bit and see, because I do want to try that yellow tack and see if it's better, worse, or equal to the blue tack, and try to find out exactly what it is. My guess is it's just a poster tack, just in a different color. I'm just not sure. But yeah, there we go. A couple of game aspects if you're into miniatures, using miniatures in your RPGs. If you're into the hobby of painting miniatures and basing miniatures and everything. Now, we didn't utilize the full time. Part of that is just because it's me here alone. So this show will be a little bit shorter. Now, prior to ending the show, I do want to make just a couple of special announcements, I guess. The first part is upcoming in September, so end of August, September, Labor Day weekend, is ReaperCon 2022. Now, ReaperCon, I will be attending. If you happen to be attending ReaperCon as well, I would love to see you there. If you're into miniature painting, it is the de facto place to go. Reaper Miniatures, they have plenty of going-ons there. They have classes. They have paint and take tables. They have different RPG games. They're going to be doing a lot there. It is over Labor Day weekend, starting Wednesday night. You can find more information on reaperminiatures.com. This is not a plug because of sponsorships or anything. This is just because I love the company so much. I will be in attendance. I hope to see more people attend. One of the aspects that I'm hoping to see is more people participate in their Master Series paint contest. This competition is unlike any other miniature competition because you're not competing against other artists. You're competing against yourself. How well can you paint a miniature? That's it. If you've entered before, it's have you improved since the last ReaperCon Master Series paint contest. So you're going against yourself and yourself alone. Everybody gets either a certificate, a bronze, a silver, a gold, or a Sophie style trophy, depending. All of that information can be found on reaperminiatures.com under the banner of ReaperCon 2020. Additionally, there was an announcement that the Reaper Bones 5.5, part of it has been shipped to the factory, so from the manufacturer to Reaper. So I expect within the next couple of weeks we should see both those shipments come in. So if you have been a backer for Reaper Bones 5.5, watch for those updates and know that those will be coming shortly. For the Reaper Bones 6 that we previewed, I believe it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't know. That the Pledge Manager should open in a couple of weeks, so if you want to become a late backer, watch for that. Also on reapermini.com, reaperminiatures.com. For our channel here, we have been trying to maintain our schedule of 6:30 without a problem. We are doing some analysis to see if we need to move it back to 7. So we are considering a little bit of an adjustment to our schedule from 6:30 Central Standard Time to 7 Central Standard Time for our weeknight shows. More to come on that in the next few weeks. We're currently in discussions about pros and cons of it. In addition to that, the Saturday show that we start at noon, which is called Bringing It to Life and focuses on miniature painting. We don't anticipate any change to that, still starting at noon Central Standard Time. We hope you join us for that. And know that if you get an opportunity, give us a follow on our Twitch channel as well as our other social medias. We are on Facebook and we are on YouTube. And we hope to continue to grow and reach more people. We're not looking for subscribers or anything like that, just more follow so that we get to have more exposure in front of more people, hoping that we find a lot of people that we can inspire, that we can engage with, that we can share ideas with and help build more community. So please, if you haven't yet, give us a follow, and we look forward to interacting with you, whether it's live on Twitch via comments on our YouTube or feedback through our Facebook or emails. That is it for tonight, reviewing the handles. Again, a lot quicker show when it's just me. I don't get as torn into the minutia. Big shout out for Tammy for making these purchases so that we could review them online. If there are items you would like to see us review on Friday nights, Tammy and I together, please let us know. We are happy to try different things and explore and give honest reviews on those products. So don't hesitate, reach out to us, let us know if there's something that you would like to see. I thought about doing the Monsters of the Multiverse as well tonight. I just received the book this last week, but I've already seen there are lots of reviews out there, so I may wait a week and do a deeper dive into it because I really want to go through in more detail. I haven't had as much time to really dive into it, so we may do a little bit onto Monsters of the Multiverse that was just released. Let us know if that's something you'd be interested. Until the next show, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you keep painting, keep trying, keep pursuing RPG hobby, and continue to help that community grow, because it's come such a long way from when I started in the early 80s. It's just a delight to see how many people are enjoying the hobby. So thank you for your contributions to us, for your support of us, and of course, let us know where will your adventures take you. Bye-bye.